but I guess everybody noticed or has seen. Okay, cool, everyone. Welcome back to episode 99, one before 100 of Rocket Lab Weekly. And we are 1 week away from the ribbon cutting, less than 1 week away from the ribbon cutting at LC3 in Wallops, Virginia. And we have a little announcement to make. For some magical reason, our team was invited to the ribbon cutting of LC3. And we are super thankful for that. We weren't sure if we were able to announce it, but we looked through the emails and it does seem like we can announce this. So if you guys are coming, I don't know if anybody who's watching this was part of the 10 retail investors that was chosen, then, obviously we're going to meet up. It's going to be an amazing time. The only thing is, Rocket Lab seems to be drowning in traffic because of this event, and our 2 Canadians here have not received their confirmation to that they were approved for NASA. And we really hope it's coming. It's becoming a nail biter. So if anybody in Rocket Lab is watching and can help us get these guys confirmed without annoying Muriel, that's a very important point. Your help would be welcome. So how are you guys?
You go, Dave.
I'm not bad. Okay. Just same old. How about you?
Doing pretty well. It was a bit of a roller coaster week. So I had the first video I've done in I guess 2 or 3 months since before our second born arrived.
Yeah.
I finally put everything together, and it was largely based on a purchase of Redwire that I made earlier in the week. And I went to post the video, and YouTube is not just a video or 2, but the entire channel was demonetized. So I was kind of running around on Wednesday trying to figure out what was going on. But I think I think what happened is it just not even a huge, just the bots at YouTube or whatever picked up this show being on multiple channels, and I guess I got pulled for being the smallest or something. I don't know. But anyways, YouTube pulled together really quick. And I got that video out. So that felt really good. But yeah, roller coaster of a week. And like I mentioned, I bought some Redwire, been kind of watching that one after earnings. And I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, all in all, good week for the portfolio. That's about my week. How about you, Vince?
Yeah, it's been a very crazy week. I've been so much into the trip. I've been buying full of vlogging equipment, microphones, because apparently we might be doing an interview with the big guy, Sir Peter Beck and Adam Spice, and it would be unbelievable to meet them in person. I mean, first of all, it's super weird that Rocket Lab Weekly 100 happens to be coinciding with the opening. It's almost like it was meant to be. And I never thought that we would, 1, get to speak with management, 2, get to be invited to such an event, and 3, get to do a live interview with them. And I'm very nervous because I've never used any of these machines before, and everything has its battery and 50 million cables. And so I'm probably going to be vlogging tomorrow just for myself to, start to be able to use the camera. Yeah, and I've been buying full of stuff. I actually have some presents for you guys. This is some Swedish candy.
I got some Canadian stuff for you as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I've been slacking off. I need to go shopping.
You know what? I never expect to get presents, so it's fine. I'm just very happy to meet everyone, and yeah, I was going to bring some space stuff for Sir Peter Beck and Adam Spice, but there's nothing I could find in Sweden, so instead it becomes Swedish candy. That's our innovation here.
Fair enough.
Cool. So yeah, so in this week's Rocket Lab Weekly, it's a super slow news week. So actually, we're going to touch on the news and then We are going to speak a little bit about Redwire because I think a lot of people are. I mean, the stock has crashed, and I watched Scott's video, and is it true if it's like a price of sales of 2 when you look at Q3 earnings?
And that's why I'm. And granted, essentially how I arrived at that is I took the second half of the year and just kind of divided that by 2. Maybe all of that lands in Q4 because I know they are delivering one of their the solar panels to Maxar, so that'll be a big revenue boost to that. But yeah, if they fall within the revenue guidance, like Redwire is dirt cheap right now. Not without its issues, of course, but just looking very cheap.
Yeah, so we will touch on this. We will speak about this when we get to it, and then probably we will be just in time for the 70th Electron launch, which is pretty crazy. It feels like the 50th launch was just a few months ago, and I mean it actually was. But yeah, so Scotto, do you know the numbers by head, like which launch it is this year, and how many in the quarter? I didn't follow it just for this one.
It's the 12th of the year. This is the second of the quarter now, right? We had, Harvest God thrives on the 5th, and then so this is the second so far. These have all been from New Zealand so far, so it'd be nice to get Virginia going. We're still just missing that haste launch. I don't know where that went, but yeah.
Well, we're going to go there and check on them. And
imagine if that haste launch ends up being on the 28th.
I don't know if it can. Isn't it like a huge hazard, to have that many people and launch at the same time? How epic would it be to have like this DJI pocket camera and like film like here's the fire tail of the rocket, and then turn the camera around and I'm all black and burnt. No, I don't know. Cool. Do we have any more comments on how we're doing on the launch front? And
no, not really. I mean, this one's confidential. Without saying too much, this is and this is Rocket Lab's own words, so I'm not spilling the beans on anything. But this is the second. It's the second of 2 that were signed for a confidential launch customer. So I don't know for certain, but I'm under the impression that it's the same customer from June 28th. So what I find interesting though is that June's only had 1 satellite and this one has 5. So that's a bit of that's what the mystery is like again, I'm not try not to say too much, but it just seems interesting that there would be like 4 tag along satellites for the second launch, whether that's like and if that would still be considered a dedicated launch, if that customer took on 4 external satellites, or if that would be technically a ride share, how exactly that is communicated, I don't know. But yeah, confidential though. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the first one was a prototype and then it was working and now they're like scaling. I don't know.
I'm not too sure.
Somebody's asking Brett, hey Vice, are you allowed to film? And the truth is I don't know, so I'm for sure going to vlog the trip and meeting Matt and you guys and where we're staying, and if I can I'm going to film also, but the Wallops where the launch pad is, it's a NASA military site, and I'm even happy just to be allowed on that. I'm a non-US citizen and I had to go through quite some clearances to get in there, so definitely if I'm not allowed I'm not going to try and do it. Of course, if we do the interview with Sir Peter Beck and Adam Spice, hopefully I can film there. It has never been a problem. Cool. All right, we go to the next one, and that is a public service announcement for Rocket Lab. Please make sure that you vote on 5 different topics on the shareholder meeting, which is in 4 days from now. I'm actually guilty of this. I haven't voted yet myself either, because I don't find the email when Interactive Brokers tells me how to vote, and I, for the life of me, can't find how to vote. But yeah,
I was having the same problem actually. So I searched for it, I checked my spam, couldn't find the email anywhere. I'm hoping it's under. I could like find it basically a copy of it under like the documents section when I log in, because I do want to vote. Especially the company and Peter management seems to think this one is, perhaps more important than usual. So I definitely wanted to support.
But by the way, I wanted to ask that because for me it seems like pretty a garden variety vote this year, and I'm not sure. Like it seems like it's very important, but do you know like which point is it that like that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I have to take a quick look at it. You looked at the details, Scott?
No, I haven't yet. No.
I did look through it, and it was approving people on the board. It was some. It was a few weeks ago, but I think it was like some, salary approvals. But it was everything was pretty garden variety. Nothing, not like approve Peter's new compensation package where he gets 10% of the company if he does these goals. Not like nothing of these.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine it being like a close vote. It's not like where Elon Musk's compensation package with Tesla and that whole drama where everyone was like talking about voting no and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'll cast my vote. I think it's good to support the management if you do have confidence in them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And I think this was it for. No, yeah, there was. Sorry, one more news. So Rocket Lab made an announcement that they are expanding their investments for national security programs and semiconductor manufacturing. This is on the back of the Geost acquisition that has finally closed now. And it looks like because they are increasing they are getting 23.9 million award through the Department of Commerce as part of the CHIPS and Science Act that ensures the U.S. leadership in space-grade semiconductor technology. And you guys remember that there was another 23.9 million award announced last year in November. And I asked ChatGPT, is this the same award, just, repackaged in a new PR announcement? And it said, no, it's two separate awards. I asked Google AI. It was also saying that this is two separate awards. So it looks like we got another 23.9 million, but it's super weird for me that it's the, down to the $100,000, the same amount, the two, both for the CHIP Act. So,
yeah. To be honest, I saw that and I saw the number was the exact same, and I thought they were just kind of republishing about it. That's interesting.
It does look like it's a separate award.
I remember the funny thing at the time was they were everyone was rushing to get the CHIPS Act money awarded before the election because I think there's a lot of speculation that the new administration wouldn't, continue with that program. But
I'm more under the impression that this is just that previous. I want to say like money, but I mean technically we actually got to ask Adam about this on the Q2 2024 interview. He mentioned it's going to be split between low interest loans, grants, and tax credits. Now, I'm wondering, at that time, it was announced that there would be and this is important, up to 23.9 million from the CHIPS Act with another 25.5 from the state, 25.5 million, that is, from the state of New Mexico. I think this stuff from the state that's already kind of come and gone. And I think the up to 23.9 million, I think this is just their confirmation of that full value. That's my take on it anyways. I'm not sure, because again, the only difference, it's the same, CHIPS Act and everything and the same purpose, to what the funds are going towards. But the only difference that I notice is that the Trump administration is getting the claim for it. So I don't know. Another 23.9 would be nice though.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I had the show planned and then somehow my computer restarted and I lost everything that was prepped for the show. And now Google AI was answering differently, but before it was, I don't know if I can show in ChatGPT, but it was saying that it's like separate awards, but it was super suspicious to me also. And it looks like the chat and everybody is in the same page. So
yeah,
then it's
I
a
do have
non-event.
to admit that this past week, I'm sorry, but I haven't had a ton of time to be researching it on the internet, so I'm not quite up with all the details around this. It is something I think I need to dive into more.
Yeah. It's how do you call it? Like this week, I don't think you need it to be on top of things. It's since I do Rocket Lab weekly, it's the slowest news week. Also, not just Rocket Lab, it's like the whole space industry. So it's actually pretty good that the show is shorter this week, and the rocket launch is starting very soon. So we don't do the show for the sake of doing a show. And what do you call it? Completely forgot what I was going to say. It was important. Oh yeah. So the other event is that tomorrow is going to be the 10th test flight of Starship, which is guaranteed going to be very eventful. How much do you guys follow this?
Pretty closely.
I think every space fan follows it, and not just from a Rocket Lab angle and thinking about the implications there, but it's always an exciting event when they have a test launch. And especially with their approach to testing, like you never know what you're going to see, but you're guaranteed excitement.
So what is your guys' prediction? I mean, I know it's it's non-binding, and I know it's like super hard to predict, but the last two launches were, I feel like, total setbacks for SpaceX, because they are trying to test the Starship coming back and re-entering, and like Starship basically blew up before it was re-entering the atmosphere, so they were not getting any new data, they were not able to test anything new. And then the launch after that basically blew up on the pad, so it's like 3 ships now that was basically wasted. So I
Luckily,
feel like
they have a lot of ships.
yeah, and a lot of capital. So I don't know if I don't know of any other company that could be wasting this much. It's pretty impressive. So do you guys think that they will, fix all the mistakes and finally, like, we will be able to re-enter and test the materials? Or
I'm generally pretty optimistic about the team they have and the work they do. Obviously, we were kind of hoping for more progress on the previous launches, but I think we'll see progress this time around, personally.
Do you think they, like, 100%, like everything goes to orbit, everything comes back that's supposed to?
Oh, not necessarily, but hopefully they get, like, to test some of the heat shield tiles. I think that's really what they need to get to. We've seen them catch a booster, which is frigging amazing. But yeah, they need to get that stage 2 tested. So
I think they'll do well. I'm willing to bet they'll go, like, this will be not perfect, but I think the most successful to date. I think they'll make it the furthest along this time.
Yeah. I mean, for me, what's very interesting is I think with Everyday Astronaut, Musk had an interview where he actually said that this, like, how to bring back the Starship is not a solved problem, and that he also has like a few ideas how it could be handled, but nothing that he's sure like this will handle it, And then this is why for me this is so exciting, because as opposed to everything else that Musk has done, where he said, like, we're gonna do autonomy with vision only, like this one, he says that it's like at the edge of what's possible with physics, and this problem is not really solved. So and he said they don't have a solution on it themselves, like a for sure solution on it themselves. They just have a few ideas. And
yeah,
even,
I mean, I was listening to a repeat of the interview with Andy Lapsa from Stoke this week, and yeah, I mean, The ceramic tiles always makes me nervous. You get flashbacks to the shuttles, but I know they've made a lot of improvements, but it still seems like a system that'd be hard to be 100% confident in like every single tile and just go and refly without, inspections. But they've done amazing things. So hopefully they know more than me about that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it has to be like the tiles have worked before, right? But they were not like cheap and not like how do you call it? Not rapidly reusable. So
yeah,
yeah,
took a long time to so many man hours inspecting all those shuttle tiles and making sure.
Yeah,
sure progress has been made since then.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting. Cool. Now at this segment, let's talk about Redwire. So this company was a retail favorite, and then it feels like I wasn't following that company very closely. There was a lot of retail people that really liked that company, and then last earnings they merged with another company that was bigger than them, as far as I understand. It was not a space company; it was a defense company that makes drones. As far as I understand, you guys can correct me after. I know you're a lot more into Redwire, and a lot of people walked out insanely disappointed after the last earnings. Oh wow, we have someone in here. Let me see who has the cat dragged in. No, the cat dragged it right out. It looked like Matt came in for a second. I got a message that Matt came in, but maybe he's on the toilet, looking through Twitter, and he's like, "Shit, I clicked on the link." No, I don't know.
Probably exactly what happened.
Yeah. So what do you guys think?
I mean, oversold.
I still own some shares. But, sorry. Go ahead.
You know what, Dave? I want to hear from you first because I've been in my own head enough on this.
Yeah, again, like the past couple weeks, I just haven't had that much time for researching investments and all that kind of thing. And you've probably noticed, like, I've made a few less videos than usual. I have my shares. I was up substantially. I'm now, I think, slightly below break even, and just trying to figure out like what I want to do with this company at this point, because I'm not sure. Ultimately, I like Rocket Lab better as their business, but then Redwire has certainly looked cheap in the past, and you could argue they look cheaper now. The drones business, in terms of fitting in with the space business, at first I wasn't too sure about it, but the more I've thought about it, I can see it making sense in terms of defense, with like all the domains covered off. So you have your drones in close and the satellites further away, and satellites can sort of tip off the drones to go take a closer look. And we've all seen the drone use in warfare is exploding. So that acquisition, I think it could still work out all right, but I'm very disappointed by some of the numbers being missed and lowering of guidance and stuff like that. And obviously the backlog too. So, but I think Scott went into it a bit more detailed.
You touched on some great points. Like, not my favorite management team by any means, but I mean, I think they're kind of getting dragged through the mud. And I think a lot of the discourse that I'm seeing too is from, try not to, I don't want to say too, like, I don't want to pick on any one person, but I'll say, like, I've had a couple of conversations and like, they're really, just talking poor about management or whatever. But like, as you talk to them a bit longer, it's like, well, how long have you been in Redwire? And it's like, oh, like 1 month. Or, one guy that I was talking to, he actually bought the day before earnings and was pissed off because he had a 30% loss in a day. And I'm like, well, to each their own. But I mean, if you're going to play earnings, you're going to get, you might get burnt, right? So, but I mean, that's not even like just that one, those few people that have that kind of outlook in regarding management. And I mean, I kind of see both sides, and especially with Peter Canito, he was on which state was that CNBC that he went on like just the day or two before earnings, and he was talking about how they're kind of spinning up their like in space like pharmaceuticals basically. And a lot of people saw that as kind of deceitful of like, well, why would you go and talk about your company and then the next day or two you're bringing earnings down? But it's like, well, I mean, he's not going to go on CNBC and be like, by the way, our earnings aren't going to be as good. Like,
Yeah.
I think I don't think he legally could do that as far as I understand. But yeah, I don't know.
Wasn't there some, again, I've been meaning to research it more closely, but wasn't there like an extremely late change to some of the documentation around the acquisition? I forget exactly, like they changed how much Edge's revenue was supposed to be or something like that.
Yeah, and that's like, and that's kind of, okay, so there's two sides to that. And I think it's like, even if you kind of like argue it away, there's still like, well, the underlying cause, right? So yeah, the revenue did take a hit. So originally they were citing 535 to 605 million. Then later on, they're saying 470 to 530 million. That was after the acquisition. But at the time that they've been communicating the original numbers, 535 to 605 million, that was before this, my understanding is an audit that took place in the third quarter. And it was largely due to one of their programs going over budget. So they had to kind of like bring everything down. Now they did bring it down more than that revenue adjustment. But, and it's like, so when you look at it through that context, it's like, yeah, of course the revenue is going to be down by the same amount that they had to make that going over budget adjustment. But then it's like, the point stands. It's like, well, how do you go that far over budget in the first place, right? That shouldn't have happened to begin with. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but it is kind of like a new revelation to them, so to speak. So it's kind of understandable that the guidance went down, but I don't know. Kind of either way you put it, it's not a great situation, but it's not, I don't know, it's not the end of the world. It's still, 37% growth year over year at the mid range. So, I mean, granted, it should be 50% or higher, like even higher than that. So I don't know. But all this to say, though, it's like, I think the market is looking way too short term, because like I kind of laid out in that video, if you kind of factor in all like the new share counts and look at what it was trading at during Q2, like $22, it's like, well, yeah, that's like a price to sales of 14. That's not great, especially with where they're at. But then if you want to look ahead, it's like, is the market really going to trade them at a price to sales of 2 when their revenue going forward is 111%? Like it's just, that's why I kind of think it seems oversold. Personally, not financial advice, of course, but I don't know. I think there's a realistic scenario where Redwire has a nice rebound by the end of the year.
Yeah. Can I ask a question as someone who doesn't know so much about the stock? So the unit that had this cost increase, was it the Edge unit or was it the original Redwire unit?
It was Redwire, and it was related to like their radio systems. So, and I'm pretty sure that Redwire's at fault. I've heard some people try to argue that it's like, well, the customer came to them and said, we want to change all the specs, but then that's probably going to be the customer's cost at the end of the day, right? But the fact that Redwire is having to go, I think, like $25 million over budget is brutal. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, if this customer is going to be happy after this adjustment, it kind of infers that it's a much larger project than this reconfiguring of 25 million.
And
sorry to hop in there, Scott. But yeah, so I did find the post Ann Penman was talking about where basically the same day that the shareholder vote, the proxy statement was adjusted to cut Edge Autonomy's numbers from 16% from what they had projected previously. Do you see that one?
No, sorry, say that again. What was being cut?
What they were projecting Edge Autonomy's numbers to be revenue.
No, I didn't see that one. And that was, sorry, that was like the combined The combined revenue value?
Um,
Redwire's been weird with communicating it, like, because they've generally been communicating it's like, this is what the full year revenue guide would be, assuming that assuming that Edge and Redwire would have been together through the full year. But of course, it's like realistically they're acquiring it halfway through the year, so that's why I'm looking for clarification. Was it like
Yeah.
the pro forma revenue with the two joint units, or like starting January 1st, or was that just the?
No,
Redwire?
it was the merger proxy statement.
I don't know.
Thing. I'm gonna have to dive into this again because this is secondhand. So
me too. Yeah.
Okay, and then the second question is, what like, do you guys project the revenue to consistently grow into the future, or is it because from your video, Scott, like I saw that the revenue like quarter over quarter and year over year was going down, but from your video it felt like it was a temporary thing because they're projected to have 38% year over year. Because I'm saying if we grow 30% every year for the next 5-10 years in the foresight, and we're getting closer to profitability, I also don't know how close or far they are, then the price of sales of 2 is insanely cheap. But if we're going to grow 30% this year and then we're going to stagnate and profitability is super far away and, we need to raise and raise and raise, then the price of sales of 2 is might be generous,
Yeah. Well, the deal was supposed to make them adjusted EBITDA profitable, but I think that guidance has now been withdrawn. So.
Yeah, they redacted that guidance too, which again, it's like that's a fair point of criticism, but at the same time, and this is something that I mentioned in the video as well, it's like everybody is getting kind of like their potential contracts be pushed to the right. And that's not even just like a space thing. It's like it seems like that was consistent pretty much across industry in this last set of Q2 calls. It's like everyone's just kind of like, yeah, well, our customers weren't sure about, tariffs or inflation or this and that, like everything going on in the world, that of course nobody's really like giving out contracts at the moment. And, like we're well aware like of all the like SDA and Golden Dome opportunities. Those are huge, but those are going to be in, I guess, the government's next fiscal year technically. So starting September. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah. But by the way, the launch live stream has started. I'm listening to it, but it's just the ambient music, like nothing, like the real live stream has not started yet. So when it starts, I think we switch over, and until then, we just enjoy each other's company.
By the way, there was, if we're kind of just chilling here, there was one other piece of Rocket Lab news. I mean, not major, but it did look like they got approval for the kedging, which is that process of basically bringing those large neutron pieces in through that canal or river that is too shallow. So they throw all these anchors down and use multiple lines and kind of drag themselves forward is sort of my understanding of how that works. So hopefully they'll be able to, get those large neutron pieces on site that way quite soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that and I was thinking about bringing that up, but I mean, it feels like they are hedging their bets, and there's so many ways of and how to get the rocket into Wallops, and they did say that it is not a problem. So I felt like it's just small step on
Sure, fair enough.
I also want to take up one thing. I saw a tweet, which was, I think, a really well-written tweet about there was a day this week when Rocket Lab fell. I think it was almost 11% or maybe 13% at one point. And then I think we closed like minus 9%. And it happened to be like the day after the Trump, like the Alaska summit with Putin. And the guy was writing that, like, why is Rocket Lab so much affected? And it's because, like if there was peace in Ukraine, then suddenly there's not so much pressure on the defense stocks and, like different space assets to be done on time. And, that like slows down contracts and, maybe there's less contracts to get. And on the surface, the tweet made sense. But I'm just curious, like, do you guys think that there's this reverse incentive priced into Rocket Lab, or like what do you guys think?
I don't know. I have trouble seeing it. I mean, I guess there's certainly some more demand for space assets right now, specifically like imaging and stuff like that. I think it would be a bigger hit maybe to a BlackSky or even a Planet than to a Rocket Lab. But I think we've just kind of seen the instability in the world, and regardless of if peace happens tomorrow, I don't think defense budgets are going back down, and people are thinking, okay, we don't have to worry about having satellites and all that kind of thing. So I think that's all here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus I think that if you look at I think that this tweet could be true. Like, two things can be true at the same time, right? Because what if there was algos in the market that got this news, and then they're like, okay, sell all the defense stocks, and like Rocket Lab might be listed as a defense stock somewhere, so it just got thrown out with the bathwater. Because I think Rocket Lab is going on or like running on Golden Dome, the impending Neutron launch, and their own space infrastructure. And the Golden Dome is happening no matter what, peace or not peace. Neutron is happening no matter what, peace or no peace. And the only thing that if they have the space infrastructure, right? Like, if that has to do with national defense, which it seems like it will have something to do with that, like that might get a slowdown, like that I can see. But I don't know. I feel like it's so far away and so unknown, and I don't think that that's what the stock has been running on.
Yeah. CR Strain makes an interesting point too. It's like, especially when we talk about space race and stuff like that, a lot of people talk about keeping up with China and making sure you're ahead of China. Same with AI. And so, that factor, I mean, it's not about Russia all the time there.
Yeah. And it does seem like I was looking at not Dr. Eric Berg. That's a keto coach. What's his name? Eric Berger.
Yeah.
That it does seem like China will beat the US to the moon this time, which might be like, oh crap, we're behind. Let's spend way more money than we have been. Is there sound, by the way, or is it just...
There is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're hearing the music.
Should I lower it?
I would say so.
Okay. Cool. And Scotto, I don't know if you need to go or you're fine until the baby cries.
I might just like go black midway through the stream, but I'll stay on as long as I can.
Cool. Do you think there's going to be updates on LC3 Neutron? They sometimes have quite hidden nuggets on these.
I think so. I bet they will.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What do you guys think?
Always so cool.
Yeah. Okay, now it's starting. So
Electron is standing tall on Pad A at Launch Complex 1 on the eastern shore of New Zealand. Liftoff is expected in 17 minutes, bound for low Earth orbit. Hello and welcome to the live broadcast of Electron's next mission and our 70th launch. We are celebrating the milestone with a special name we've been saving for a special occasion, Live, Laugh, Launch, a mantra we can all relate to here at Rocket Lab. My name is Prachi Suknani.
And I'm Sam Peters, and we're joining you here from Rocket Lab Mission Control in New Zealand. We're targeting liftoff at 10:42 a.m. local time or 22:42 UTC. The team has been busy throughout the morning preparing for launch vehicle on the pad, with operations going well so far on Pad A at Launch Complex 1. Now, today's mission will be Electron's 12th this year, and the vehicle is looking nice and ready for launch, with LOX loading well underway. LOX loading begins around 2 hours before liftoff, before being continuously circulated to keep it at the right temperature for the mission.
That's right. Today, Live, Laugh, Launch is flying from Pad A at LC1, and at our customer's request, we'll be ending today's broadcast shortly after kickstage separation.
But for now, it was a little less than a decade ago in 2017 that Electron took to the skies with its very first ever mission called It's a Test. And now here we are about to fly our 70th mission to Live, Laugh, Launch. Electron is a powerhouse in the launch industry and the leader of Small Lift, completing missions in the name of scientific research, climate monitoring, global connectivity, and national security. We've launched for NASA, the NRO, a huge range of commercial customers, and have been pushing the boundaries of what a small orbital launch vehicle can do.
Let's take a look at Electron's rocket-like growth.
As you just saw, we've had successful liftoff of Rocket Lab's Alana 19 mission. This one's for Pickering.
100 engines is a big number of engines, and I'm incredibly proud of the propulsion team and the whole company for that matter.
At T+1 minutes, and Electron is in the air and onward to the moon for the capstone mission. That rocket is soaring through this nighttime sky.
The Harvest Goddess is on her way to space for a 69th Electron launch.
It feels like we've squeezed a lifetime of growth in less than a decade, and this year is no exception as Electron continues to break its own records.
That's right, the summer has been a jam-packed one for Electron. We've had a month of 4 launches back-to-back in June, with 2 of those within just a 2-day period, making it our fastest turnaround time yet from the same launch site. It feels like every month we're celebrating a new milestone, and today is no exception as we prepare to cross Flight 70 off our list.
That's right, and at T-minus 12 minutes to liftoff, it's time for us to check in with Mission Control and our launch operators, who will be running the count today. Our launch director is Paula Tare-Seralonga, who will go down the line with each operator to make sure that each station is ready to proceed with the final minutes of the countdown. This is what we call the go, no-go sequence, and it's one of the key safety checks before we prepare to send Electron on its way. Let's listen in now to Mission Control to see how Electron is tracking for launch.
What a change, guys, on the launches. I mean, it's funny how like the rocket design has been like barely changing, which means that they
Dorsation LD and Mission Core proceeding with the go no go sequence. Stages go. Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Vicon.
Vicon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
Met is go.
MM.
MM is go.
LDSAP.
LDSAP is go.
Copy all. We go sequence is now complete. We are T minus 11 minutes 23 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count auto sequence starting at T minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word procedure is in effect.
Fantastic. All goes across the board from Mission Control to move forward with today's launch. We are currently T minus 11 to liftoff, which is currently set at 10:42 a.m. local time. Now, if we need to shift or push that back for any reason, we have a 2-hour launch window today and can reset the clock if need be.
If I try to say something, they're going to start speaking again.
Of course.
But I love these montages.
Yeah, it was great.
So Dave has gifted 5 memberships to his channel. You guys can make sure and pick those up.
Yeah, Dave Huntsman got one too. I always like it when I see names I recognize because it's completely random who gets the gift. Blake as well.
GC, LD in mission
Huh?
court.
LDGC.
GC, proceed with sequence 57, part terminal checks.
Copy sequence 57 and worker.
"70 launches deep for Electron, but I can hear you asking, what about Neutron? Well, we reached a few exciting milestones recently for our new medium lift rocket that the team have been working hard on getting ready for launch. The qualification campaign for Neutron's engine Archimedes has been full fire at our test site at the Stennis Space Center in Mississippi and showing off some beautiful blue plume from its liquid oxygen and methane mix.
Absolutely. Archimedes is a highly reusable liquid propellant engine with an oxidizer-rich stage combustion cycle, making it capable of a total liftoff thrust of 1,485,000 pounds of thrust. For context, the Rutherford engines on Electron reach up to 43,000 pounds of thrust at liftoff, but Neutron is over twice as tall, about 5 times wider, and about 40 times heavier than Electron. So you can imagine Archimedes is going through a very rigorous qualification campaign to make it ready for and reliable for Neutron launches and, of course, landings back on Earth. Let's check it out.
Archimedes is an ox-rich stage combustion engine. There are 9 of them on stage 1. The stage 1 engine is capable of 165,000 pounds of thrust, and on stage 2, it's capable of 200,000 pounds of thrust.
You go from essentially standstill to 100% throttle in a second. And you've got valves opening and closing, gases purging, ignition sources opening and closing. The pump goes from 0 to just under 30,000 RPM within that roughly 1 second period.
Damn, the music was good.
What an absolute beast of a machine that engine is. Around 90% of Archimedes is made up of 3D printed material manufactured at our Engine Development Center in Long Beach, including the housings for the turbo pumps and valves and components for the engine's structure, pre-burner, and main chamber.
That's right. And the shop floor is also set up for the manufacturing and assembly teams to be able to produce an engine every 11 days or so, and averaging around 3 to 4 hot fires a day at Stennis. Some pretty incredible stuff from the Neutron team.
Do you guys think when we're in Wallops that there's going to be like an Archimedes engine that we can touch and
Copy.
Probably, even if it's just like a not a prop, like a functioning one, but like a render, or like not a render, like a mock-up. Because there's that one we saw probably a year ago now that was being brought around to like be on the show floor next to a Archimedes. I think they were just like 3D printed. That'd be cool to have there just as a prop.
because theoretically, if Neutron is going to be on the launch pad soon, like there should be pieces of Neutron in the LC3 that we can see, you know. How cool would that be that we can like touch it and then it's like, oh, we touched something that like went to space, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of like stuff they have there, because it was the, I think 2022 Investor Day where they kind of like zoomed out and they're like, by the way, this is the inside of the diameter of what the Neutron's going to be. That was pretty cool. Ooh, the upper stage, Francisco. I'd love to see that.
I think he's right, because that's like done with the testing, I think, like fully. So that should be hanging out in LC3. By the way, Curtis, thank you so much. He has gifted 5 memberships to all of our channels.
Turning back now to today's launch, and you can see with the countdown clock on your screen there, we are getting ever closer to entering the final stretch before today's mission, Live, Laugh, Launch. The extremely cold liquid oxygen propellant that Electron uses makes any moisture on the rocket freeze, and so the white on Electron tells us that the LOX is being loaded and we are nearly ready to take flight. In just a moment, we'll enter the final countdown where Electron will take over the controls as its flight computer autonomously completes a series of critical checks before liftoff. One callout we can expect from mission control is that LOX is in circulation, which means Electron's tanks are fully topped off and the propellant is being circulated.
That's right. We'll also hear a call out confirming that both stages of the rocket are fully pressurized for flight before, last but not least, our launch director will begin the 10-second countdown to liftoff. And that time is almost here, so let's bring up the audio channels at Mission Control and listen carefully for those call outs. We'll be back with you shortly after liftoff.
And I don't even feel nervous anymore when I'm watching Electron get ready to launch. It's like such a reliable vehicle.
What are they at now? This is number 29 in a row.
From now, there should be no red flags on your critical LCCs. Beacon LD admission court.
LD Beacon.
Beacon, lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Auto sequence is locked.
And confirm all flight computer askers are green.
Confirmed.
Copy, thank you, Beacon. We'll go for auto sequence start at T-2 minutes. LDs go for launch.
Yeah, don't you remember, Dave, that there was like this electrical arc with the battery jettison, and then
that was the battery jettison?
Yeah. It was like some super freak event. How as the battery was jettisoned, it like created an arc, and it was like.
No, I remember that failure very well. I thought.
AFTS is green and enable for flight.
LOX load is complete. System is in recirculation. Anti-geysering is disabled. Stage 1 and 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting.
All right, everyone hold their breath.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Beginning pitch run.
You.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
There goes Electron, a beautiful liftoff there for Live Laugh launch, now on its way to orbit. Electron is quickly picking up its speed and altitude and approaching a crucial moment in launch that we call max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. This is when the atmospheric forces on the vehicle are at their peak.
That's right, and we're standing by now for the call from Mission Control that we have successfully navigated this phase.
Cleared max Q.
AGB discharge nominal.
And that's confirmation from Mission Control that Electron has successfully passed through max Q. All data is looking nominal so far, and the rocket speed and altitude are right on target. Next up will be first stage separation and MECO, or main engine cutoff.
Electron's first stage is powered by 9 Rutherford engine that, as Sam mentioned, will soon power down in preparation for MECO. Once that's complete, the first and second stages of Electron will separate, allowing Electron to drop the first stage that it no longer needs. Next, the single vacuum-optimized Rutherford engine on the second stage will ignite so that it can propel the second stage and the payload to its orbital destination. These actions are coming up in just a few moments, so let's check them out.
$15 seconds to staging.
Enter burnout detect mode.
MECO confirmed.
Stage separation.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
They have the sound now live.
A beautiful
Love the
engine
audio.
lineup for the second stage Rutherford, powering the mission now at more than 8,000 kilometers per hour and 93 kilometers in altitude. Now that we've dropped the dead weight of the first stage, next to separate will be Electron's fairing halves from the top of the second stage. That will expose the payload attached to the kick stage to space for the very first time. Always a really exciting moment in the mission. Let's listen in now to mission control and keep an eye out for those two fairing halves to fall away.
Fairing jettison confirmed.
And there they go.
Guidance
The
is nominal.
fairings have been jettisoned away right on schedule at T+3 minutes into flight.
HUB discharge holding nominal.
We're cruising now over 9,000 kilometers per hour at an altitude of 142 kilometers. We've got about 5 minutes left on the second stage's engine burn time. Now, next up will be key milestones for Electron called battery hot swap, which we'll see shortly.
Stage 2 propulsion holding nominal.
The engine nozzle on your screen there belongs to Electron's Stage 2 Rutherford engine, an engine that is very unique. The pumps that feed propellant into the combustion chamber are powered by electric motors and high-voltage batteries. This cuts down on much of the complex machinery required for gas-powered engines, meaning that the Rutherford is simpler to build than a traditional engine, but it is also fiercely efficient with a 90% efficiency.
That's right. And since the second stage's journey lasts for longer than the batteries it started with, Electron has to swap to a fresh set along the way. This has the added benefit, of course, of reducing mass and increasing performance for the rest of the flight when those old battery packs fall away. Now, coming up in just a few moments will be that milestone, which we call the hot swap. If you look closely, you should be able to see that the first pack of batteries jettison away from the second stage. Let's listen in to mission control now.
Guidance is nominal. 200 seconds remaining.
HUB discharge holding nominal. Approaching hot swap in roughly 30 seconds.
Right, time to hold our breath again.
Throttling down.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Confirm hot swap successful.
Excellent call out there, and thank you to those batteries for their service onward and upward for Live, Laugh, Launch. Electron's
Okay.
Rutherford engine is powering on bright and beautiful with the vehicle's velocity now at more than 16,600 kilometers per hour and getting closer to its required altitude now at more than 198 kilometers above Earth. Next up, we have our second engine cutoff, or SECO, where the second stage engine will power down to prepare for kick stage separation.
HUB discharge holding nominal.
You guys have any theories on the white dot?
No idea.
I was like, is it only on my screen?
Problem with the camera? Yeah, probably.
Should reverse back the video and see when it came.
Now, typically, an Electron journey from the launch pad to the mission's target altitude takes less than 10 minutes total. Right now, we are about 7 minutes into Electron's 70th flight. So we have only a few more minutes to go until this phase of the mission is complete. So far, everything is proceeding nominally, and our current speed is right on target at about 21,000 kilometers per hour.
The nozzle on the Stage 2 Rutherford is glowing strong, and we are about 195 kilometers in altitude and dropping towards our perigee, and the views from space aren't bad either.
What is the white dot?
Space alien. Figured it out.
Space bug, according to Francisco Ramirez.
It must be a reflection because I'm scrolling through on a separate screen here, and it actually moves kind of up the bell over time.
Detect mode.
The second stage will soon be towards the end of its journey, where it will throttle down and shut off in time to allow for the kick stage and its payload to separate.
That's right. And after second engine cutoff, or SECO, the kick stage with its payload will enter a coasting phase as it orbits Earth, preparing to deploy today's payload. Let's listen in now to Mission Control to hear when we cleared SECO and separate the kick stage from Stage 2.
SECO confirmed.
That's it. From now on, it's
Stage
confidential.
separation confirmed.
Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
And there it is, SECO confirmed, and the kick stage has separated with today's payload, placing it in an elliptical parking orbit. It will now coast around Earth for about 40 minutes or so before the Curie engine ignites to circularize the kick stage's orbit and deploy today's payload.
And at the request of the customer, we'll be ending the broadcast now, but stay glued to our social media accounts for confirmation of payload deployment. It'll be coming up in the next 40. Thank you so much for tuning in to celebrate Electron's 70th launch.
We lived, we laughed, and we launched indeed. Thank you again for joining us. And until next time, this is Rocket Lab Mission Control signing off.
Cool. So that was
nice.
That was one more launch.
Kind of like an achievement when it becomes routine, you know, like the fact that they get to the point where it's not like a stressful big thing.
Don't let your guard down. You know that's when the shit happens. You know, when you're like,
yeah, of course.
They will never again have a rocket failure, and then it's like, boom. Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that, but
no, I don't know. I mean, they're doing really, really, really good. I mean, if you compare them with any other company other than SpaceX, they are doing really, really good.
I still want some info on what's going on with Firefly's Alpha. Like, we haven't really heard a lot since their last failure, and
weren't they going to launch
more
like 6 times this year?
Sorry?
Weren't they going to launch like 6 times this year?
I think so. Yeah, it was like, yeah, I see a whole bunch here that are slated as 2025. I see like, or is that included too? 9 that were supposed to be in 2025, and we've had 1 so far.
Yeah.
I wonder, their next one is supposed to be with Lockheed again. Their last was also Lockheed. Yeah, the last was also Lockheed. But I wonder if their next is going to be Victus Hayes now, because that was supposed to be, I think, like mid-October. And I'm wondering, like, what happens if Alpha is grounded? Does that mean like Rocket Lab? I mean, obviously, if there's no satellite to go catch, there's, you know, like I wonder what the likelihood of that being moved to an Electron is, or like, how does that work? I wonder.
For which launch?
For the Victus Hayes, because Firefly is going to be launching the Jackal first, and then Electron is going to hunt that with, I think it's Pioneer now. After I think the bus got swapped.
But you know,
that'd be responsive. Like, oh, by the way, can you launch both of them? I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
You got 2 launch complexes.
Sir Peter Beck, can you launch a rocket and then catch it with another one? And it's like, yeah, sure. But
hold my beer.
But you know, like what I'm wondering is like Firefly has apparently a bigger backlog than Rocket Lab, which for me is really weird to begin with. And then my second thing that I'm wondering about is like, what happens with the backlog when you're supposed to launch like 9 customers this year, and then you're not ready to launch, and then like do the customers just wait and wait and wait years and years, and they don't go to another provider? Or
I don't know. Like, I'm sure there'd be something in the contract that allows the customer to move over, if anything.
Yeah.
It's just for those Lockheed sats, like they're too big for an Electron, so
And there's
you'd
a
have
whole
to try
bunch
and
of
get
them,
on a Falcon 9 ride share, but like I understand there's a bit of a weight on that, so that would be tough.
Yeah, super cool. Okay, I think that this is a good point to end the stream. Thank you so much, guys, and the audience for being here. And next week is Rocket Lab Weekly 100. We are going to Wallops. That means hopefully Dave as well and Scotto. Yeah, and we should be getting an interview with Sir Peter Beck and Adam Spice in person. So stay tuned. Should be epic. And yeah, see you guys next week. And if you're coming to Wallops, you're one of the 10 people, please hit us up on Twitter. And yeah, cool. Thank you guys. Signing off, and see you all next week.
Yeah.